I get it, but at the same time, I don't know. It just feels off, I guess. Does that make sense? Well, I trust there will be no more sudden outbursts. You know what? I've said from the beginning that I like the character dynamics. And I even liked how the dynamic of this case is kind of playing into Maya's issues, which are going to bleed into the final case, no doubt. And maybe I just kind of wish that it had gone the route of subverting the archetypical Ace Attorney case, which is what Maya is expecting here. Like, Gil's breakdown didn't... Thematically it was good, but I guess it didn't feel earned. The whole second half of this trial kind of doesn't feel fully realized. And as a result, the ending didn't really feel earned. Am I overstepping by saying that? Maybe. If so, I apologize, but I don't know. It's missing something. I feel like a more fitting ending would have been Gil kind of starting to go into a breakdown, and Sai shutting him down, saying, "That's enough, Gil, it's over." And then it just cutting off there, without going into the full breakdown. You know what I mean? If you said leaned more into the subverting the typical Ace Attorney case in its ending, in not getting a satisfying truth. Maybe that would have been the ideal method, way to go. I don't know. From our lawyers or our witnesses. Very well then, the defendant could approach the stand. Your Honor, I suppose we already knew this from the outset. Mr. Quincy's death has still left a lot of crimes to be answered for. In regards to yours, however, I think it's time to set the record straight. The court finds the defendant, Billy Deanhart. And, like, no one should be clapping after the way this ended. That just doesn't feel right. That is all. This court is adjourned. Finally, I can breathe again. Mr. Justice. Mr. Godot, Maya. I have to admit, this has all been a huge mess. But thank you. Thank you very much. What you did for me, at least. Did you expect any different from us? Not. Of course not. My judgment is always sound. How do you think I got this far? Good to see him set free, if nothing else. As for the rest... Mr. Justice? Mr. Goldstein? What do you want with my protege, Sketcher Boy? Do you stand by what you did? I can't say for sure. The truth, he was our murderer. think Gil would kill again? Huh? It was all worth it for Dean, was it? Know what it's like to be torn from family. Want to say anything to me, I won't stop you. Go ahead. Gil gave me this before they took him. And you're going to keep it? Of course. He's my brother. And Maya tried to get Dean killed just so you could be happy. He had to know Dean could be executed. And I love him all the same. I know you loved him, but you have to accept reality. Accept who he really is now. He's going to prison. He killed for your sake without asking. Just let him go. You left little brother Gil, not like this, not this murderer. Let go of him, Maya. Why do you care, huh? You seemed perfectly happy to prance around our amusement park when we first met. Was this whole crime scene some playground for you when we started out? And it suddenly got real. And it struck a nerve, huh? And now you want me to give up on my brother. Forget all my feelings for him. You're oddly invested, Miss Faye. Do you think you can really do that? Completely let go. Fully. I've got a read on you. I'm sure your heart will wander back to your Gil sometime soon. If it hasn't already. Eh? I'm right, aren't I? Quitting the job, Dean. I get that. Got to actually try at art again. Gil. Idiot. Gotta live for you too now, huh? Enjoy your freedom to go back to that cursed park, Dean. Hope it's worth it. There he goes. Man, it's gonna be so different at the park from now on. Yeah. I'm sorry to put you all through this. I didn't need a trial like that. So sorry. No, it's not your fault. You didn't deserve any of this. You're fine, Mr. Hart. You had nothing to do with them. Maya. You're not okay, are you? Family drama still getting to you? It's a lot to process. I think it's gonna take me a while, too. We called a murderer, but we also tore our family apart. We also got an innocent man off free. That's worth something, isn't it? Of course. Look what you did for me, Miss Faye. Why don't we grab some Maya-picked fast food to celebrate? I'll even let you drag this softy here along with us. Why not bask in the gratitude of a man well freed? That's not... Yeah, I'll help you bask if you want. Wanna go get some noodles from that one place, Maya? El Dunes, right? El Dunes? No, this is all wrong. I've been... Paulo. What is it? Sai's right. I haven't... This whole time. Miss Faye? It's okay. We don't have to get food. You too. I'm doing it to you too. You're not even... Maya? Uh-oh. Can't do this. This has all been... I'm sorry. Maya? Maya? Where are you going? Damn it. Just stand there, kid, after her. What? You're not just gonna leave her like that, are you? Come on. Ooh. Maya! Maya! She's fast. Well, you didn't have to waste your breath shouting so loudly. You're the one that was lagging behind. There, I guess. Damn it. How could I let her get away? Mr. Justice! Mr. Godot! Ah! What did you do? I saw Mystic Maya. Why is she running away from you guys? You heard her, didn't you? No. And what was it? I don't know. Yes, you do. Lay off of him. But, pretty sure whatever's going on, it's not his fault. He didn't do or say anything to Maya, okay? I need to go find her. What if... Calm down. We have her cell number. No, I'm going to do it. Not you. I can contact her. But, alright. You give us a call when you find her. I'm going to see what Mystic Maya has to say first. Fair enough. It's not on you, kid. But she was staring straight at me. Maya, what's wrong? Why me? Are we literally a replacement for a Phoenix, right? Come on, let's head back to the office. Or is Mia her Gil? I'm sure we'll regroup and talk it out there. This is finally blown up. This has finally hit its breaking point. This is the point I've been waiting for. Hey, there you are. Hey. Everything okay? Yeah. Huh. Kid's real worried about you, Maya. Not exactly fun when you pull a vanishing act like that, you know? Tell Apollo it's alright. I'm going home to Kurain. I need to focus on my duties as master. Are you sure that's what this is about? I might not come back to the office for a while. Maya? What? Sorry, we've got to go. The train's leaving. Bye, Godot. Yeah, pretty much. We're not gonna get the payoff until next episode, but alas, this is the only fitting ending to Maya's story hitting its peak. I like it. As much as the second half of the trial didn't hit the mark, I feel like there was some intent of it not fully hitting the mark of a proper Phoenix Wright trial. Which is good. I appreciate the intent. It could have been better, but at least trial-wise, but plot-wise, I still like it. As frustrated as I got with the trial logic and the intents and purposes of the trial. Oh, hello. What's this? And just like that, the case came to an end. I ran away from the courtroom and wandered the streets alone. I never saw Maya again. Oh, the killer's a man of his word, so I'm sure he released her as promised. I heard the verdict of Miss Andrews' trial a few days later. She was found guilty, of course. Oh shit. The miracle never happened. Maybe it was never meant to. Because a miracle is something that doesn't exist. Shit. Well, was it worth it? You know the ugly truth now. Did you get the answers you wanted so desperately? Well, this was nice while it lasted. Go ahead, do what you want with me. Yeah, we're not going to do anything to you. I'm sure we've both imagined far worse. It's awful. Maybe it's horrible to say, but a little happy too. That we finally know why. What's wrong with you guys? Both so naive, you know that? One day it will cost you. Well. Well. With all said and done, I feel like there's a few things to talk about yet. One hand, I really like where the overall storyline is going. I really like where the overall storyline is going. And the way it peaked at the end of this case. Mwah. Yes. I love it. I'm invested to see where case 4 goes. Even if I really didn't thought the trial logic and probably the execution in the second half of this trial could have gone better. It could have gone better to serve, I think, what you were trying to do with this. Although, I suppose, in the end, it still did serve what you were trying to do with this, given the twist of what we now know to be the timeline that we're in. The miracle never happened. It is exceptional. Of course, they'd have a fear of stepping foot in the courtroom. Again, Pearl's experiences in this timeline were not great. Maya's experiences in this timeline were getting kidnapped and losing, presumably, the guy who she looked up to, the protege of her sister, who saved her from a murder case, got her invested in this whole trial assistant thing, who established the formula of how these things normally go. Of course, with Phoenix Wright out of the picture, everything changes. Perhaps Godot resurfaces without Mr. Trite to take his revenge on. He inherits Mia's old office. Technically, in Maya's hands. They establish a pre-existing relationship. Maya takes over the mastership of Curain early. We don't ever get the resolution of the Fae plotline with Nick out of the picture. The ties to Dolly are gone. There's possibly still elements of the Fae clan working against Maya and Pearls, as evidenced from Case 2 Turnabout on Rails. It's now the uncertain, unresolved trauma that is still affecting Maya is more clear. It's the kidnapping at the hands of Shelley the Killer and the aftermath. Knowing that Phoenix Wright inadvertently got Adrian Andrews convicted of murder and executed and let Madame Garde go. While it was a result of him failing to get to the satisfying truth. It still was the outcome that Shelley the Killer was after, and as such, Maya got set free after the fact. But Maya had to live through the fact, has to live with the fact that she is still alive and free because an innocent woman got convicted of murder that she didn't commit. That is delightful. Delightful from a plot standpoint. It's not delightful for her. It's quite unpleasant for her, but this case is Maya reliving Farewell My Turnabout. Trying to get the right outcome this time. And not getting what felt to her to be the right outcome. And I love that. That's a beautiful plot development. And reveal at the very end. So, ultimately, my gripes are insubstantial. Yeah, I may have come down hard during the last parts of the trial, but hopefully I want to make myself perfectly clear that My gripes are ultimately insubstantial in terms of the greater product, which I am still enjoying. If anything, I'd hope that they just come off as my questionably educated take on what would make a good thing even better, what would serve is even better. We can reflect on that more now that we know the circumstances at the timeline. Very clearly what we were trying to accomplish with Maya's plotline. This is the outcome that we had to end up with, wasn't it? It had to end this way. Really did. Of course, it was never going to end with a satisfying confrontation and a satisfying breakdown, which is why my suggestion would be, despite the breakdown being really good ultimately, I feel like it would have been more thematically fitting to have it just be cut off. I don't know. Let me know what you think. This is the end of Amusement and Turnabout for now, until we return for the Spirited Turnabout somewhere down the line, which I am looking forward to. Despite how hard I came down on this, I am very much looking forward to it. There is... Let's see if I can show off one mystery that still remains in here. Window capture. Okay, yeah, there's still mystery here. There's a bonus zip file and bonus PDF in here. Which if I can navigate here, here's what it says. Look at the end of amusement and shed light on what it has to hide. The game behind and start a new one. Slot me, presumably the bonus zip file, into the Pyrite Zone Games folder. Which leaves the mystery of curiosity here. Oops, that's not what I went to open. To open this. I'm not buying Winbar. When we try to extract this, get a password prompt. That mystery still lingers. I don't know. Can't figure out the password to this. So what I've seen doesn't seem like it's that consequential, but it's still a curiosity. It's part of the experience at all. I'd still very much want to see it. Yeah, everything in here is password protected. based on, we can still see the contents of it? Ooh. Given the contents of it, I can take a guess at what the scene consists of. I can tell you that the bonus scene is going to involve the best in Edgeworth in some way. But fortunately, I'm not quite sure how to. Yeah, there's no clear answer as to what it has to hide. There's one more thing we could try. It's not that. Drat. Okay. Anyone wants to download it. Give it a play. See if you can figure out what the bonus scene consists of. Let me know. I'll certainly. Nope, okay, I've exhausted all my ideas on this matter. So, that's going to do it for Appeal to Truth for now. I hope my frustration didn't sour the experience for you. I think a lot of times there's probably occasions when I get frustrated with the logic of a game and I take it a bit too far. Get a bit too mad. Like, time to reflect on how I reacted to some of the stuff in here. Probably didn't give it enough. That's why, in hindsight, I want to give it credit for all the good that it has done and what it set out to accomplish and where it wound up and what it has set up for the final case going forward, which don't get me wrong, I'm really into that. I'm really looking forward to that. Just hope we understand that as my initial anger at my initial anger at not having a dang clue what the math problems were and being expected to figure that out by the time we get to the testimony where it's relevant. I'm gonna say, like, they had a simple solution for that. Was just add something extra to give you some hint as to what the other numbers are. In theory, if you if it was still recent enough in your memory and you thought about it, you could draw the link between the one that was labeled with inches and say, okay, that's dimensions. And you could press that statement. And have a conversation about different size containers taking different amounts of time to blow up. Say, wait a minute, different size containers. These are a bunch of sizes. And then have that link to the answer. That's a link that could exist. It's still, in my opinion, a bit too obtuse, but it's not completely out of nowhere. A lot of the answers which I struggle with at times can be boiled down to, if you play it through straight through and the evidence is fresh in your mind, you might be able to make the connection. The connection can exist, but you're casually playing through every few days or so. The significance of the evidence might be lost on you. The context of it might be lost on you. So it's the higher difficulty scale, but not impossible. Like, I feel like there's a scale of too hand-holdy evidence, which hand-holdy solutions and testimonies are okay, are all right in their own right. It's good. I feel like that's a good thing if you put together a mystery where each solution to advancing the mystery is obvious based on the evidence you hold and the context you're given in the case. That's not a bad thing, in my opinion. It's difficult to do. I understand that. It's difficult to do consistently. I understand that. It's not a bad thing. The opposite end of the scale is, I feel like occasionally it happens sometimes where you're expected to present an arbitrary thing at a statement in a testimony, and then with no inkling as to the connection, but the connection is then explained to you. And in hindsight, it makes sense. Like, that's the opposite end of the triangle, which, okay, it's frustrating, but with the context given, okay, that can make sense. Acceptable. Like the the times tables note. They worked through the context afterwards, but yeah, again, I just feel like the basic hint, the inches, was too vague, but it it's a connection. And it can give it that. It's a connection. It's there. It works. I'll take it. I feel like it would have been better to add some sort of inkling as to the other numbers, but it works. There's I feel like in terms of the second half of this case, if we had a chance to investigate the dry ice demolition site behind the roller coaster, if there was some way to investigate that to give us something concrete there, the solution that we were worked our way towards in the end, I think would have been better. Spent a large part of that second trial day working through a bunch of hypotheticals and a bunch of locations we never got to go. And I think not having the timing of the fireworks versus the murder on hand in something we can reference, I think that hurt the second part of the case too. And if you played through this all in one sitting, you have the information on hand. That was discussed the first day. Second day, when it came to be relevant in terms of, okay, someone was blowing shit up the night before. It was the night before. It's unclear whether it was the night before or earlier that night. The crime happened late at night. Fireworks happened possibly early that night? The night before? Don't know. Big question mark as far as if it happened earlier that night. Why was Gil still testing dry ice bombs a few hours before he meant to plant one. When did he plant it? Right. When did he plant it? How and why did he plant it? It's did he even do it? Maybe that was all intentionally left unanswered, but and still, it might have been better served by calling attention to that fact. Like, I like where this case ended up in an unpleasant solution that breaks up a family, that's not a satisfying outcome, that feels wrong to push for, with not all the questions answered. Is Gil actually even guilty? Did we just push him to confess, to take the fall? I feel like if we leaned more into that, it would only serve to better the theme of what you're trying to do, I think. I Although, honestly, I could have just been prattling on like a fool for 20 minutes. I apologize for that. If you're still listening at this point, you give me way too much credit for my opinions on this stuff. Maybe you're just getting mad at me and shitting on my shitty opinions on this stuff. If so, that's fine. That's valid. Shit on me in the comments section. I do not mind whatsoever. That's fine. Because I'd love to hear your take on it. What worked for you? What didn't work for you? Did you like how this second day of this trial came together? Let me know. I like how it ended. I like how it ended plot-wise. Honestly, I know I vented a bit about what's the case logic frustrated me, and some people are saying, drop the series then. No. I didn't like the case logic at times, but I really like the story. And I really want to see where the story goes. I hope you do too. We're definitely going to come back to case 4 when this is all said and done. But for now, until next time, until then, thanks for watching. Okay, so I think we may have solved the riddle here. Let me just... see. The bonus hint says to the end of amusement and shed light on what it has to hide. Now, if we pull this up again, navigate, still navigating in here, yeah. Navigate through the files to the backgrounds. And then to here, episode 3 end card, which looks like this. Shed light on what it has to hide. So, that's what it has to hide. Farewell. Now, if we ditch that, oh, died. Where are you? There we are. Now, if we jump back to the bonus zip, extract these files. in Truth Married Games. Okay. And reuse the password. We extracted. Extracted successfully. Now, if we fire this up, we can see the bonus. It's indeed the bonus. Prosecutor's office, room 1203. All right, that's one more recording down. It's okay, Sebastian. It was all in the past. She's okay now, at least. I can do this. It's no big deal. I can do this. Just a few more to go. Deep breaths. Hello? Hello? This is not a phone. Maya! How is Maya? You haven't heard her, have you? It seems you were not able to fulfill your end of the bargain, Mr. Attorney. I've heard the news, so it would seem my present did you no good. No! Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya! One more day, please. All I ask for is one more day. I'll get a not guilty verdict for sure this time. Please. I suppose if I must. I need that acquittal more than anything else, after all. Please. Please, let Maya say something. I want to hear she's all right. I was afraid I'd find you here. Ah! Sir, I didn't hear you come in. Well, that's not particularly surprising, given what you were listening to. Now, is it? Sorry, sir. You know, I was hoping giving you permission to look into that case would get you to finally give up on it. Aren't you tired of running into dead ends? There's still a few recordings left. There could be something in them. Do you honestly believe that, Sebastian? This is something you haven't found, sir. I checked all the police records. Nobody had recordings from the hostage situation. Nobody did, until now. And what good do you think having a lead will do you? What is there in that case that you think you can salvage? I can't just give up. I'm the last person who's trying now, aren't I? Sebastian. Don't you have a case to work on? You gave me permission to look into this case, sir. That I did. Just don't end up with a pink calling card slipped under your office door. Oh shit. Please. But you can just abandon this case. What happened? It's an injustice, yes, but what's the point of it? It's already taken Miss Andrews as well as everyone else. What good do you really think you can do, Sebastian? It's too late. I couldn't do anything, so what makes you think you can? But what about the culprit? As long as the killer's aftercare remains in place, we can't raise so much as a finger. And you're the last person I'm going to have on an assassin's watch list. It's noble of you to want to help me in this matter, Sebastian. But I still don't see anything you can do. Even with these recordings. What about Mr. Wright? There's still a chance. We can help one victim. Don't you want at least that much? Sebastian, please consider the circumstances. He's dead. He has to be. But we don't know for sure. Doesn't matter whether we have a body or not. Given what we found in that office. Are you really suggesting he didn't leave of his own accord? No, I guess not. Mr. Wright is out there somewhere. He can finally repay you, sir. You got to want some sort of resolution to that case, right? I saw you the day she was executed, Adrian. I want to help, even in the littlest of ways. Did you hear it? Hmm? The recording. Did you hear it when you came in? Yes. It's been a long time since I heard that voice. It's strange. Regardless of the circumstance, he's still the reason that woman was hung. But he's He's one of your victims of the law, too, isn't he? And Miss Fay, and Little Pearl, and Gumshoe. And you, too. To say that a case has just one victim, that's absurd, sir. Huh. I think you've let my babbling get to your head. Just don't strain yourself, that's all, Sebastian. If every case could have multiple victims, then it's your job to make sure there aren't any more in your trial tomorrow. Of course. I still want to finish these, though. I won't stop you. Just promise me you won't get hurt. I promise, sir. Good. I'll check up on you later, Sebastian. I won't disappoint. Of course you won't. Well, well. I really like that time skip Edgeworth. That's an interesting... I see that's why that's hidden by a password at the end of the game itself. It really is kind of a just extra character building, world building scene that requires the reveal at the end credits to justify its presence. But oh man, oh, this last case is going to be emotional. Really, finally, everything comes to a head. We know the point of divergence was the miracle never happened. That right there. The miracle never happened. Right leaves. Madame Garde wins. Shelley the Killer wins. And it is friggin' cool. So we are really going to face down the past in the end. I'm curious, I didn't actually read if there's a case summary up for case 4 on this matter. On the forum thread for this fan case, but I'm still really intrigued on what is going to happen. To fully dredge up this case. This is clearly what the Fae storyline is building up to. So obviously, Maya lost Mia. Phoenix took over the Fatal office. They had their adventures in the first game and the second game. Oh, that makes sense why the password was farewell, because farewell my turnabout was the divergence point. Man, that's a nice touch. Oh, ho, ho, ho. I like that. That's cool. We have the culmination of Maya's storyline, which stems from unresolved trauma from Farewell My Turnabout, from Phoenix getting Madame Garde found not guilty, getting Adrian Andrews found guilty and sentenced to death by virtue of Madame Garde found not guilty, by virtue of not winning, essentially. That is why. Really, that is why. Maya was so fixated on the Goldsteins in all this. why the Goldsteins are so important as characters to Maya's backstory. Because really, that was absolutely a figure in Maya's past who she lost, who she still has some degree of resentment towards for what he did, despite knowing that he did what he did for her sake. Trying to process that whole deal. And that's why she latched on to Gil and Sai so bad in this case. That's really nice. That's a really nice character touch. Makes a lot of sense. So we have seen a lot going on here. It's interesting because Paulo is developing as a lawyer, obviously, developing his own around all these outside influences. It's interesting seeing him develop as a character around all these other figures who have history. And even Sebastian has history with that case, Farewell My Turnabout. If only by virtue of being around when it happened, and obviously being aware of it. Depending on what exactly his connection with Edgeworth is in this timeline. Assuming if that was the point of divergence, where things went wrong, maybe something he wound up under Edgeworth's influence instead of his father's influence, and came up right. Came up mentored by Edgeworth. Prosecutor's office. Good route instead of suffering under fucking his Papa Blaze and the PEC and all that jazz. So obviously, Sebastian, this being this bonus scene being a elaboration of Sebastian's motivations in here. Really good too. I'm curious to see if Edgeworth plays a bigger role in this. Curious to see who all from Farewell My Turnabout might come back. Is it going to be Shelley the Killer focused? Is Madame Guard going to be involved? Are we going to find out some truth about Phoenix Wright and his involvement in all this? He's the core figure of Maya's story, and obviously Edgeworth's too. So Sebastian, by proxy, is trying to solve this for the sake of Edgeworth, by virtue of him being present when this misjustice was carried out. And there's also the after thread of the killer's aftercare, which is also interesting. Which I assume to some degree is if you go poking into the work that was done on this case after the fact too much, you get a calling card and you get dead. That's going to be dangerous. All in all, yeah, I'm only more sold on the final case now. With the time that has passed since I finished the case originally, my frustration is worn off with the case logic, and now I can appreciate the story for what it is. It's really good character drama being set up here. Really excited to see how it plays out in the final case. All right. There we go. We're ending on a much better note this time. So until next time, until then, thanks for watching.